Hello again, my name is William Pye, and I have something special for you tonight. I received a package in the mail, a very special package. Recently, Armiger Entertainment ran a Kickstarter, and, full disclosure, I was one of the backers. In this package is my copy of the American Tenchi Muyo Omnibus. Tonight, I'm going to show you my copy. So, here's the box that the book actually came in. If you don't mind, I did cut away the actual address bit, so my address won't be visible here. So, I went ahead and cut it open, and there she is, all bubble wrapped. Alright, so, let's take a look at this. Let's get into this, and ooh. Oh, come on. There we go. I feel like a damn kid on Christmas. Huh? There we are. And folks, there she is. The Tenchi Muyo Omnibus. There is the main book right there. And there we go. And there is the addendum right there. So nice and happy like. Ooh, there is, oh my god. Oh, I requested Nagi as the remark for my copy of the book, and there she is. Admittedly, I love Ryoko and Ayaka, but I have a very big soft spot for Nagi. She is easily rivaling Ryoko and Ayaka in my eyes, and to see her actually drawn with new art, oh man. And hey, there's actually my old screen name sitting there. Yay! Yay! Oh, I am so happy with seeing all this together finally. It is so nice. Woohoo! And look at that. That is some nice page work right there. There she is. Get to see all the backers right there. All the patrons, the Space Pirate Elite and whatnot. So this is very nice. I very much like this. So it's still black and white, the same way it was printed. Getting into some of the meat of it here in the middle. And again, the print is really nice and big. Look at that. That is really nice. The paper the actual printed pages remind me a lot of some of the textbooks that I have. I actually might compare them here in a moment. So there she is, just all together. Speaking of which, there she is. So the addendum over here, we have that, and get all the nice little color art. Some of the additional art that was made for the comics. I used to see some of this back in the day when I saw like scans of it, especially in the actual DVDs that had like the Tenchi Encyclopedia. They would actually have scans of some of these. Not all of these, but some of them. So some of these are familiar, not all of them. And ooh, there's some interviews here at the back. So I'm going to have to take some real time to kind of dig into this and see what else is to be had. But, I mean, this is some pretty gorgeous art. I really like this. Yep, artwork was made possible by the incredible support of all these folks. I mean, this was this is labor to get this stuff back out again. So I am incredibly happy to have these in my possession to add to the myriad of Tenchi stuff that I have sitting on my shelf. So let's actually compare this to a couple other books that I have that are very similar in nature to this one. So what I have here is a little smattering of the Tenchi Muyo branded literature that I happen to own. So in particular, we have the American Omnibus that came out from Armiger Entertainment here in 2026. We have the Guardians of Order source book that came out in 2000. We have the addendum to that, the Tenchi Universe addendum to that, which came out in 2001. We have Okuda's No Need for Tenchi that came out in 2000, and specifically Volume 12. And we have Volume 10 of All New Tenchi Muyo, also from Hitoshi Okuda. So, what we have here is a little bit of a variety to play with. So in particular, the Guardians of Order source book is the one that's most comparable in terms of size. It's also a large book, the Omnibus being a little bit larger. The Omnibus, of course, has black and white pages the exact same way it was printed back in the 90s. The Guardians of Order source book, on the other side, it happens to be in full color. The reason being is, of course, that it was actually taking a lot of screenshots and stills from the anime in particular. And most of it happens to also be a lot of text because it's an RPG source book, as you might imagine. On the other hand, we're right here with the comics, we're emphasizing much more on the art. So a lot of this is a lot more glossy, a lot more show-offy, if you will. However, here the pages are a lot more pulpy because, again, it's mostly text, much like textbooks might be. For comparison in terms of that, look at the addendum here. The addendum book is also printed in black and white. The reason being is because since it was a supplement, it wasn't given quite the same care that you would have gotten in the Guardians of Order main source book right here. So this was also printed a little bit more on the cheap. It's also comparable size to the other two books here. The manga, of course, the manga from Hitoshi Okuda, the manga was printed in the original Japanese in black and white also. So in particular, the art style is a lot similar in that regard to the Omnibus, and the same goes for the the all-new Tenchi Muyo as well. It's also printed in black and white, as most manga happens to be. But notably, Viz, as you can see, was much more on the frugal side when it came to printing the reprints of the manga. They're notably a lot smaller. So in particular, hell, even the 10th volume of All New Tenchi Muyo compared to No Need for Tenchi to Volume 12 is notably smaller. Viz was kind of shrinking its size there in the mid-2000s. But this particular omnibus, on the other hand, is nice and big. It is big print. It is gorgeously printed. I would definitely put this alongside any of my other books easily. One thing I really like is the variety of art styles. You have Matt Lunsford's art for the omnibus, of course, which has its own distinct look to it. You, of course, have the stills from the OVA and universe here with the two Guardians of Order books. And then, of course, you have Okuda's art style. And one thing I really like about Tenchi Muyo is because since it was had a variety of people working on it, you had all these different styles that kind of intermeshed with each other. That way you kind of have a variety of what you'd like best. Do you like Okuda's art? Do you like Lunsford's art? Do you like the anime art that's here? So pick and choose. Which one do you like the best? I think they're all good, and it's also why they're on my shelf. For one more comparison, I said that some of my books actually have some glossy pages as well. So again, let's compare, say, the Armiger pages here, which are very glossy, very smooth, very nice in quality. And let's compare them to one of my math books. So I collect math books because, my background and whatnot. The pages of this one are also pretty smooth too. This is a pretty recent edition of this particular book, and its pages are smooth as well, but not quite as glossy as these. Of course, these are meant to be very show-offy, very artistic, as opposed to these are a bit more informational. Though, I will say the quality of these pages is almost as good as the pages that were here in the Omnibus. So, there's the professionalism of this particular outing. Also, one more comparison. One particular book that is near and dear to my heart, I have this one as well, where, again, the page is almost the exact same quality as this particular omnibus has as well. This happens to be a particular page out of a very special book to me. And again, very much trying to highlight the color as opposed to some of the other pages which are much more informational and a bit more dry. So yes, the pages here are definitely meant to be much more towards the artistic end, to be very artistic and show-offy. Thus ends this brief look at the Tenchi Muyo American Omnibus from Armiger Entertainment. Thanks to all the backers for making this book possible. This book wouldn't exist without your support. And stay tuned. More is to come.